Is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this July 29th. This morning, one of the first school districts in the state is welcoming students back to class. The plan Avon Community Schools has to keep kids safe as they go back to school.
We're just going to keep pushing the same message.
Many other schools are choosing to hold class virtually, raising concerns for advocates about the decrease in child abuse reporting. Working for you, what they say you can do to help protect Hoosier kids. And a man in Kokomo is being charged with impersonating a police officer. This morning, we're hearing from the alleged victims and the man accused of pulling them over. But first, we need to get a check of our Storm Team 6 forecast on this Wednesday. Todd Clossett is standing by from home this morning. Todd, what can we expect as we head out the door? I noticed in my car, at least, it was cooler this morning.
You know, it is running a little bit cooler and less humid. You remember back to yesterday morning, temperatures were in the 60s, but it was still really, really humid. And then that humidity dropped throughout the day and it turned into a beautiful afternoon. So this morning it's more comfortable as far as humidity levels go. They are still fairly low and temperatures are in the 60s in almost all locations. Muncie just running a little bit warmer. 68 in Indy, 64 in Bloomington, 66 is the current temperature in Greencastle as well as Richmond. And here's the view from downtown to the north. And obviously you can't see a whole lot with the darkness out there, but the reason I point this out is yesterday we had all those low-hanging clouds. Today, or at least this morning, the visibility is unlimited. Skies are mainly clear across the area. We do have a few spotty showers that are moving through northern Indiana and up towards the Chicago area, but that's where they should stay. They should just scoot off towards the east, and that should be just about it. So as you plan your day out, plan for lots of sunshine and a warm day. Temperatures just a little bit above the normal high of 85 later on this afternoon as we get up to about 87 to 88 degrees. Enjoy today because we are bringing some showers back into the forecast starting tomorrow. More on that, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is our camera north of downtown at I-65, a view near 30th Street where traffic is moving along up to speed northbound and southbound. Pretty quiet, no delays to slow you down. It is 5:02. Child abuse concerns continue as many schools are holding classes virtually this fall. Our Chelsea Anderson continues our Safely Back to Schools week with what advocates say you can now do to protect Hoosier kids. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So in May of this year, the Department of Child Services received more than 14,000 calls. But that's compared to last year. They had more than 22,000 calls to their department hotline. That's the biggest year-to-year decrease that the department has ever seen. And child advocates are concerned as some schools continue to remain virtual. More children are at risk for neglect and abuse. Susan Runkle with Prevent Child Abuse Indiana says there is no right answer right now.
You know, it's absolutely imperative that, we do what we need to do to stop the spread of COVID, but then who can we turn to, with regard to our children, to pay extra attention, if they're not going to be seen again by our typical, professionals.
She says if you suspect a child is being abused or neglected, you need to call the DCS hotline. All calls are anonymous. She says it's important that everyone stays vigilant and looking out for our youth. Now, Indiana is a mandatory call state, so if you suspect that there is any child abuse or neglect going on, you are required to call that DCS hotline. That number is 1-800-800-5556. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, just months ago, it was one of the first school districts in the state to close due to COVID-19. But today, Avon Community Schools, they are back in session with some changes to keep students and staff safe. Our Alyssa Donovan is joining us live this morning with the details. Alyssa, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. And in just a couple hours, students are going to be flooding back into the schools here in Avon, back to class, back to homework, back to the whole shebang. And you know what? They do have a plan for students as they head back to keep them and staff members safe, like many districts, especially those students who are coming back in person. School leaders say they'll be keeping up with the latest data on COVID-19 to stay on top of any changes that may need to happen. Right now, Hendricks County has fewer fewer than 20 cases a day. Students are expected to be in school 5 days a week, but there is also a plan for e-learning for families who are not ready to send their kids back to the classroom.
We will continue to offer an online option to our families who need a little bit more time to transition their student back to school.
School administrators say their plans are in compliance with the governor's plan that was recently laid out. Students and staff members will both be required to have masks with them at all times, and those masks will have to be worn at certain times, like on the bus or during passing periods in the hallways. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. This week you will have a chance to hear from Marion County schools and health officials about safely reopening schools. Our partners at Radio 1 are hosting a town hall tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. Local leaders will talk about the best practices to help keep your children safe. You can listen live on Hot 96.3 AM 1310 The Light, 106.7 WTLC, and also here on our RTV6 Facebook page. Indiana is seeing another jump in daily new coronavirus cases and deaths, and let's take a look at the latest numbers. The Indiana State Department of Health confirming 809 new cases, bringing the total number of cases to more than 63,000. 16 deaths were also reported, and that is up from only 3 on Monday. More than 2,700 Hoosiers have died from the virus so far, and nearly 717,000 people have been tested for COVID-19 in our state. Well, 4 women who accused State Attorney General Curtis Hill of sexually assaulting them at a party more than 2 years ago are also suing Hill once again. The lawsuit was filed earlier this month in Marion County Civil Court after a similar case was thrown out by a federal judge last month. It accuses Hill of battery, defamation, and false light invasion of privacy. Hill has denied the allegations and has not been charged with any crime. His law license was suspended earlier this year for 30 days by the Indiana Supreme Court for violating the rules of professional conduct. But he also lost his bid for re-election when state Republicans nominated Todd Rokita as their candidate for the office. We are getting more insight into a case of alleged police impersonator up in Kokomo. This morning we're hearing from the alleged victims and the man accused of pulling them over. Jackie Collins and Sammy Irwin were driving on US 931 up in Howard County back on July 12th when they say a black Dodge Dart pulled behind them and activated his yellow lights. Jackie says the car pulled them over a second time after they pulled away. She says the suspect, Trevor Bontrager, cussed at them. Bontrager is charged with impersonating a public servant. He does work for a roadside assistance organization called Guardian Angel Assistance, and says the couple gestured at him, so he thought they needed help.
I go past them, they yell something at me. I cannot make it out because I'm jamming, so I turn my music down and I kind of slow down and I look back and I'm trying to figure out if they need help, why they were going slow, whatever.
At the very first, I thought, maybe he needs something, maybe there's something hanging from our car. There's a reason why he's pulling us over. And then, to be approached by someone who says, "What's your problem?" with explicit language, that immediately turns what could have just been a misunderstanding into a potentially violent situation.
So we also talked with Alan Edwards, the director and founder of Guardian Angel Assistance, who says his employee is innocent until proven guilty. He says Bontrager is on administrative leave and is not going out on calls until this situation can get sorted out. Police officers located handcuffs, a shotgun, and a pellet gun inside his vehicle, but Edwards say the handcuffs are for, quote, novelty purposes. The Indianapolis Indians are forming a committee to discuss potentially changing the team name. The team dates back to 1902, and it's one of the oldest minor league franchises in professional baseball history. Team management says the name is derived from the city of Indianapolis, which means City of Indians. The team says it will collaborate with the community and appropriate stakeholders and will listen and exchange ideas regarding the name of the franchise. Black-owned restaurants are getting a much-needed boost with Midwest Black Restaurant Week. This year, they are emphasizing takeout and delivery options to keep restaurant staff and customers safe. Like many restaurants and like many businesses, Maxine's Chicken and Waffles faced a setback when the pandemic began. They're hoping this spotlight could bring more people through their doors when it's needed the most.
With the coronavirus, we have been picking up lately. So originally we were only doing to-go only for the first 3 months. And we noticed a 75% decrease in our business.
This year, Midwest Black Restaurant Week, organizers have waived registration fees for the restaurants, and they open registration to food trucks and meal prep services. You can find a list of participating restaurants on our website. That's at theindychannel.com. It's 5:10. Let's check in with Todd and see what we can expect for our Wednesday forecast. Hey, TK.
Yeah, Lauren, temperatures today a little bit warmer than they were yesterday, but just as much sunshine in the forecast, and the humidity is still pretty comfortable out there. That is the good news as we get you going here on this Wednesday morning. You're walking out the door this morning to temperatures that are sitting in the 60s in most locations and hovering right around 70 degrees in Indianapolis. And we'll have plenty of sunshine once the sun comes up. A sunrise now not until 6:42 in the morning as it's coming up later and later. Your satellite radar picture shows just a little bit of cloud cover out there currently, but back off to our west, there's not really a whole lot going on. So we're dry today, but things will start to change in the coming days ahead as we bring in almost a daily chance of some showers or thunderstorms heading in our direction. Today, though, no threat of any rain. Highs around 90 degrees in Bloomington as well as Columbus, mid to upper 80s everywhere else. So it's going to be a warm one, but still fairly comfortable humidity-wise. We'll talk more about those rain chances heading our way coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren?
Todd, thank you. The White House task force is now recommending some states increase COVID-19 restrictions, but there's also some optimism amid the growing number of cases. Coming up, the next steps researchers are taking to create a vaccine. And Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts, they're back at training camp. How the team is working to keep players safe from COVID-19 while they prepare for this upcoming season. It is 5:12. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, the clock is ticking for a coronavirus vaccine as cases continue to surge across the country. Documents from FEMA show nationwide deaths from the virus have increased by 30% over roughly the last week. But there is some new optimism as a second promising vaccine trial gets underway this week. ABC's Alex Perche has more details from Washington.
This morning, there's renewed optimism in the search for a coronavirus cure. Moderna's vaccine test is showing promise. 7 of 8 primates injected with the vaccine showed no detectable virus in their lungs just 2 days after exposure. The company is now in the critical final phase of human trials, with pharmaceutical giant Pfizer hot on its heels. In an interview with our station in Dallas, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said this.
It is very credible that we could have the high tens of millions of doses of FDA authorized or approved vaccine this year.
The clock is ticking, especially in places like Florida, the state marking its deadliest 24 hours yet, 191 lives lost. This report from the White House Coronavirus Task Force urges 21 states dubbed outbreak red zones to put more restrictions in place.
We are still seeing significant outbreaks occurring from birthday parties, graduation parties, family reunions.
It wasn't just me being an outliner. Dr. Birx was saying the same thing, that one is universal wearing of masks, avoid crowds, close the bars.
Images like this mass church gathering in San Diego County and this benefit concert in the Hamptons raising concerns from health officials. They're called super spreader events. No social distancing, no masks. But despite the messages from his top health experts, President Trump is once again downplaying the COVID-19 threat and spreading misinformation on a discredited treatment.
Many doctors think it is extremely successful, the hydroxychloroquine.
Joe Biden firing back.
People are losing faith in what the president says. You're not going to listen to the guy who says, been lying to you.
And it's not just Joe Biden taking aim at the president's claims about hydroxychloroquine. Dr. Anthony Fauci says the overwhelming prevailing clinical trials have found it not effective against the coronavirus. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
At 5:17, a Twitter spokesperson says the social media site has temporarily restricted Donald Trump Jr.'s account after he violated their COVID-19 misinformation policy. He posted a video that features a doctor making claims about coronavirus cures, saying that masks aren't necessary to stop the spread. Trump Jr. is now no longer able to tweet for 12 hours. The clip he tweeted came from right-wing media outlet Breitbart News. It went viral online Monday on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube. They all removed it from their platforms. At 5:17, presidential candidate Joe Biden says he'll announce his pick for vice president next week. He made this comment during a press conference in Delaware. Biden has said that he will choose a woman to be his running mate. He did not give an exact date when he would publicly announce his selection, but he says he'll likely do so before the Democratic National Convention that is set for August 17th. Barbie is making her run for president. Mattel, the company that sells Barbie, unveiled a new 2020 line of campaign dolls. The 4 dolls each play a role in the election process. They include a candidate, a campaign manager, fundraiser, and a voter. Along with the new brand of dolls, Mattel is teaming up with She Should Run, a nonprofit that supports women running for offices. Both organizations say that their goal is to inspire and educate future leaders. At 5:18, let's get a check of our forecast with Todd standing by at home. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Lauren, it's going to be a nice day for us across the area today, and take advantage of today because going forward in this forecast, we're going to see some changes start to occur. One, we're going to bring back better rain chances as we work our way into the coming days. In fact, once we get past today, every day in my 7-day planning forecast has a few showers and storms in, but we're not looking at any day being a washout. So while you will have to have the inconvenience, unfortunately, of some showers and storms being in the forecast, there'll be a lot of opportunity to get out and about and enjoy what will be some cooler temperatures as well. They may just not be the best pool days, as you'll see in just a little bit going forward. So take advantage of today. 66 right now is a common number. Terre Haute to Greencastle to Lafayette. Over to Richmond, 67 is the current temperature in Martinsville, and 68 in Indy. A little bit of high thin cloud cover out there this morning, but that is just about it. Otherwise, we are dry. Should be a beautiful sunrise with those high thin clouds coming up in just a little over an hour or so. And to our north, you do notice there are some showers moving through extreme northern Indiana up into Michigan as well, back towards Chicago. All these are just basically going to head off towards the east. They should not impact us here in central Indiana throughout the course of the day today. So as you plan your day out, just plan for a warm summer-like day with sunshine. Temperatures will be climbing into the mid to upper 80s across the area. And then we'll be around 85 degrees as we get into the 6 o'clock hour this evening if you do have plans. And I encourage you to get outside, fire up the grill with the family, maybe head out to a patio for dinner somewhere here across the area. Temperatures will be comfortably in the 80s. Sunset at 9:01, and temperatures eventually into the 70s by the time we get to 10 p.m. Going forward in this forecast, tomorrow's mostly cloudy. There'll be some showers and storms around, but we're not dealing with a front sweeping across the entire state. So not only tomorrow, but in the coming days ahead, you'll notice that there's going to be rain chances in the forecast. Tomorrow, I think they're probably a little bit better in southern locations than in northern locations, but even in northern locations, a few spotty showers or thunderstorms could build in. But there's just so many dry hours mixed in. I don't want you to cancel plans at this point. Just know, as I always say, you may have to alter them a little bit as we progress throughout the day. And even if you do see some showers and storms, they shouldn't be ones that are going to linger for a long period of time. Friday, 81, scattered storms, a little cooler on Sunday, 80 degrees, and then Tuesday, 79. So as we enter August 1st, hard to believe, Lauren, on Saturday, temperatures are actually going to be running a little bit below normal. But again, none of those days where you see the thunderstorm icons are a complete washout.
All right, good to know, Todd. Thank you so much. Let's plan out your commute this Wednesday morning. Taking a look up here in the Madison County area to our northeast. This is a live look at I-69 near State Road 38, where we do have some orange barrels out there blocking one lane of traffic, but everything's traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound. No delays or crashes in this spot to slow down your commute. Well, it lacked the fanfare that it usually has, but the Colts have started reporting to their training facility for training camp. It's all with the safety and social distancing in mind. The clear partitions have been installed in between individual lockers, and all the staff are wearing masks. The new Colts quarterback, Phillip Rivers, made it to training camp after taking a COVID-19 test last Thursday. The rookies took their tests a week ago, and the rest of the vets took them yesterday. All the players need to do is have 2 negative COVID tests before they can enter the building. A Ford plant in Michigan is going to the dogs. We'll introduce you to the fluffy, newest, and most advanced staff member just after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It is 5:25. A Ford auto plant in Michigan is adding dogs to its staff, specifically robot dogs. A bot named Fluffy is working to digitally map the factory. It's part of a tech partnership with think tank Boston Dynamics. Fluffy uses lasers to scan the plant's layout, creating digital blueprints. The data will help engineers retool the plant for future products. They say it will save time and money and allow new vehicles to be produced sooner. Pretty crazy. All right, Todd, let's get a check of our forecast as people are heading out the door on this Wednesday.
You know, Fluffy Ford or any dog here across central Indiana will like the forecast here today. Lauren, going forward, be a great day to get out there and walk your favorite four-legged friend. Maybe a little warm for some of you later on this afternoon, but the humidity today remains fairly low. So as we get you out the door, temperatures will warm quickly here throughout the day. Today should be up around 83 degrees already by the noon hour with skies that'll be mostly sunny, and then high temperatures today will be getting up to about 90 in Bloomington as well as Columbus, 88 the high temperature here in Indianapolis, 87 to the north. So we're all within a couple degrees of each other with plenty of sunshine and fairly low humidity. Enjoy today because storms return to the forecast in the coming days. More on that in just a little bit.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
This morning, students at Avon Community Schools will head back to the classroom. Now at 5:30, we're taking a look at the district's plan to keep students and staff safe during this pandemic.
Here we go again, or here we go still.
The recent schools shutdown has led to a drop in reported child abuse cases. This morning, what you can do to help protect Hoosier kids every single day. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday, July the 29th. Lauren, Tuesday was good, but will Wednesday be wonderful? Only one person knows the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's right. It was a beautiful Tuesday. And Todd, can we get a repeat of that here? Or maybe even a better day, as Raphael said.
Yeah, you know, it depends how you look at it. It's going to be a little bit warmer than yesterday, so some people might not like that, but the humidity is going to remain fairly low today, so that's good news. And overall, I think it is a great day for us, very summer-like, as we round out the last few days of July. It's really hard to believe that we're almost through July and into August here already. Temperatures are sitting in the 60s in almost all locations. 68 is the current temperature in Indy, 65 Connorsville, 66 the current temperature in Lafayette, as well as Greencastle. Different view for you here at this 5:30 hour from IMS, looking back towards downtown Indianapolis. You can see the city skyline, the War Memorial just to the left there, looking nice and bright here on this Wednesday morning, and no real issues for you as you get going and out the door. Yesterday we had those visibility issues. We do not have those today as of right now. So as we go throughout the course of the day today, we will see the temperatures warm into the mid to upper 80s for your afternoon highs. Look for your high temperature by 4 p.m. to be up to right around 88 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and I-74. You can see everything here. It's traveling up to speed, both northbound and southbound. No delays to slow you down. So let's take a look over on the southeast side, I-465 near Arlington Avenue. Traffic is moving along up to speed there as well. No crashes around the metro area to slow down your Wednesday commute at this hour, but of course we'll keep you updated. The time now is 5:32. It is among the first school systems to reopen with new safety and healthy plans to keep students and staff safe during this pandemic. Raphael?
And so Alyssa Donovan is live this morning in Hendricks County, where Avon students returned to classes for the first time since the schools shut down. Alyssa, good morning to you.
Good morning, Raphael. And like many school districts, Avon Community Schools has developed some new safety and health protocols for students as they come back to the classroom. Actually, the Avon School Board met on Sunday to review if they were ready to open on time today, and they determined that they were. They have a lot of new protocols in place to keep students and staff safe this coming school year. Students do have the option to do e-learning, but their plan notes online that the e-learning curriculum will be limited and cannot quite meet mirror the full experience of in-person instruction. Those students who do attend class in person will be required to have a mask with them at all times. There will be times when masks will have to be worn, like riding the bus and in the hallways during passing periods. Students will also be placed in seating charts in classrooms, on buses, and in the cafeteria. The district has also added hand sanitizing stations and will be having students washing their hands throughout the day.
You will see in their plans additional cleaning protocols, changes in the school and classroom environments, and other ways that the schools will look different this fall. These are necessary for now as we get our children back into school safely this fall.
And staff will also be undergoing some training to be aware of COVID-19 symptoms, as well as some screening measurements that they can do in the classroom. And if there are any positive cases of COVID-19 among students or staff members, they are going to be asked to quarantine for 14 days. And then the Hendricks County Health Department will be doing that contact tracing following that. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much. We continue to cover education this morning here on Good Morning Indiana. And sending your child to school or virtual learning will be based on family choices. And experts say you should spend some time getting your child mentally prepared for whatever decision you decide to make. Dr. Larry Middahl is a child psychiatrist, and he says it's key to reset those foundational routines as well as those schedules. You should focus on what and when kids are eating, sleeping, and their physical activities. For young children, you should talk about safe ways to show affection and practice things like wearing a mask and frequent hand washing. Don't worry right away if kids start complaining of various physical issues. Dr. Middahl says those reactions are natural ways that kids cope with transition or the unknown.
And child abuse concerns continue as many schools continue to hold classes virtually this fall. Our Kelsey Anderson continues our Safely Back to Schools week with what advocates say you can do now to protect Hoosier kids. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So in March, when this pandemic started, Call 6 Investigates found an 11% decrease in calls to the DCS hotline, a statistic that's alarming to child advocates, and they're hoping that things will get better when school goes back in session.
Oh, here we go again, or here we go still.
Sandy Runkle with Prevent Child Abuse Indiana says as things remain closed and children remain at home, they are pushing the same message.
If there is going to be, continued stay-at-home measures, then we're just asking people to continue to be vigilant.
She says if you suspect a child is being mistreated, you should call DCS at 1-800-800-556.
Everyone is essential in keeping children safe. And go ahead and make that report if you have concerns, because it could just be a situation where the family just does need some extra resources or some extra support.
Runkle says not to worry about if you are wrong, just follow your gut feeling.
If you think about it, you do want to be wrong, right? Because that means that the child's safe and the family's doing okay. But that's something that isn't for us to make that judgment.
Now, Indiana is a mandatory reporting state, which means if you suspect child abuse or neglect, you are required to call that hotline. That number again is 1-800-800-5556. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. This week, you'll have a chance to hear from Marion County schools and health officials about safely reopening those schools. Our partners with Radio 1 are hosting a town hall this Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m. Local leaders will talk about the best practices to help keep your child safe. You can listen live on these Radio 1 stations and also on the RTV6 Facebook page. Raphael?
The time now is 5:37, turning now to the latest, Lauren, on the information regarding the impact of coronavirus on our state. Here's the latest data as we have it here in the RTV6 newsroom. This morning, state health officials, they confirm more than 800 new cases of COVID-19. That brings the running total to nearly 64,000 cases since the pandemic began. Health officials say 16 more Hoosiers have died from the virus. And since the pandemic began, more than 2,700 people in Indiana have died from COVID-19.
And this morning, people living out in Speedway are still waiting for construction to resume on a hotel project. This is located right across the street from IMS. People there say that there hasn't been any work done to this half-built structure in almost a year. Back in January, town leaders told us that the delay was due to the developer, Loftus Robinson, facing financial issues. Now they say that a potential partner is negotiating with Loftus Robinson. Leaders are not releasing details, but say that if it works out, the project could get rolling again. People who live in the area say they hope that's the case.
I don't think I've ever seen people working at the construction site. I moved in last fall.
It's kind of an eyesore, but it's probably got the making of something really spectacular if it gets finished.
The developer did not respond to our calls or messages for comment. The time now is 5:39. Let's get a check of our forecast for our Wednesday with Todd. Hey, TK.
And Lauren, the forecast for today is a good day, but I wanted to show you what's heading in our direction. So I started this on Thursday on purpose for you and left out today. And you can see starting tomorrow and going through Monday, we do have rain chances in the forecast each and every day. But we're not dealing with any numbers up there in the 70 to 100% coverage. The coverage is only going to be about 30 to 40% going forward throughout the day. Nonetheless, because there's some rain chances, there'll be more in the way of clouds around. So take advantage of today because it's going to be a pool day. The pool days going forward are not going to be as good with the clouds and the cooler temperatures heading our way. But today, lots of sunshine. The humidity is still low. Temperatures climbing to the mid to upper 80s. UV index, though, is very high. Burn time today, only about 15 to 20 minutes. So make sure you have the sunscreen, drink plenty of water as well. We'll talk more about those rain chances for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. It's not just parents who are nervous about the upcoming school year. Some teachers, as you can imagine, are incredibly anxious as well. After the break, some educators share their thoughts, concerns, and excitement about the upcoming school year.
And there are some serious benefits to adding a dog to your family. Coming up, details of a new study that just may convince you to get a four-legged friend. And let's take a look here at your commute through the downtown area on this Wednesday morning. I-65, your view from Washington Street, where traffic is picking up, traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound between the north and south splits. No delays to slow you down. We'll be right back with more news, weather, and traffic on Good Morning Indiana. Stick around. Welcome back. So many parents and students may have some concerns about returning to school this fall semester, and they're not the only ones.
And Lauren, this morning we continue our series, Safely Back to School, with some candid conversations with educators. Chris Conte has the details.
Silence has consumed the nation's schools for months now.
We're changing the landscape of a whole generation.
But with a new school year on the horizon, teachers are staying silent no more.
I felt really burned out in the spring from a teacher perspective, from a parent perspective. A lot of parents felt burned out in the spring.
To understand how teachers are feeling right now, we gathered 4 of them from across the United States. They shared their thoughts on what the upcoming year will be like.
Just by a show of hands, who is a little bit nervous about this upcoming year?
It's that kind of apprehension that educators nationwide are struggling with, concerned for their own safety, but also knowing students are losing out on valuable learning time.
For a lot of students that are in kind of poverty-stricken environments, having that one-on-one connection is still really important.
Dr. Kenya Reese is a principal in Tennessee. She's worried many of her kids don't have the resources they need at home.
It's really kind of the lower socioeconomic kids that are, they're the ones that will keep me up at night.
First grade teacher Philip Starosco will start the school year online. Virtual learning for elementary school kids is particularly tough, though.
It is just very hard to be a teacher and not get to shake hands, give hugs, high fives. It's just sad.
Over and over again, these teachers told us they need parents to be flexible this year.
So when we do voice concerns, it's not that we're lazy and that we don't want to work.
We just want to make sure that your children are safe and our families are safe and our community is safe.
More than anything, though, they wanted students to know whether it's in person or not, it'll be okay.
Just because I can't give you a hug in real life doesn't mean that I'm not giving you a hug through Zoom.
We are there for the students.
We got this. You know, we are used to facing challenges that are insurmountable.
Resiliency in the face of a pandemic, and a lesson we'll all need to remember this fall.
We'll get through this and we'll get it done, and we'll get it done masterfully.
I'm Chris Conti reporting.
The time now is 5:46. Are you considering adding a pup to your family? Here's another reason why maybe you should. A new study shows that young children with a family dog appear to show better social interactive skills. Researchers say that kids with a family dog were 30% less likely to show antisocial behavior. Those children were also more than 30% more likely to engage in behaviors like sharing and helping others. Researchers say the study did not prove a cause and effect link between having a dog and the child's behavior. Let's get a check now of our forecast. If maybe you're taking the dog out to go to the bathroom early this morning before work, Todd, it's not too bad out there right now.
No, not bad at all, Lauren. Humidity is low and temperature is actually in the 60s in many locations here this morning, so it's nice and comfortable. Air conditioner is getting a little bit of a break here this morning compared to what it has been with those warm and muggy conditions overnight. Live look from IMS back east towards downtown Indianapolis at 5:47. If you look really close, you can see the sky starting to brighten. Look to the top left portion of your screen there with the wing and wheels from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Their logo in the Weather Now camera sign, and you can see that one little lone cloud up there, but it's going to be a beautiful sunrise, and we'll continue to watch that for you using the Weather Now camera network as we go throughout the rest of Good Morning Indiana. Temperatures in the 60s with the exception of Muncie at 71, 65 Greencastle, 63, and Bloomington 66 is the current temperature in Richmond, so it's a great morning for us. The humidity levels today are going to remain pretty much steady. They'll start to creep up a little bit as we get into the evening hours, but what you walk out to humidity-wise this morning is what you'll deal with throughout the noon hour and into the evening hours as well. So it's a pretty comfortable day for us, even though the temperatures today will be slightly warmer than they have been the past couple days. Now, as you look at that satellite radar picture, you can see there's a little bit of high thin cloud cover out there, but that is just about it. And there's a few spotty showers up near Chicago slipping into northern Indiana, but those are all going to slide off to our east. You don't have to worry about those in your forecast for the day today. Instead, slap on the sunscreen, drink some water if you're going to be out and about throughout the course of the day today, because skies will be mostly sunny and then eventually just turning partly cloudy later on this evening with temperatures that'll be all the way up into the mid to upper 80s for just about everybody. In fact, some of you in southern locations, I do think could clip the 90-degree mark later on today for your high temperatures. This evening, sunset at 9:01. Tomorrow will be at 9 o'clock. Hard to believe as our days, or the daylight hours at least, are starting to get shorter and shorter. All right, let's look forward into this forecast. I jumped TrueCast for you to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And as we go throughout the morning hours, we'll start to see some showers develop across the area, especially in southern locations. And then throughout the day, they kind of fade away as far as the cluster of rain. And then we just deal with some spotty showers in the afternoon. So it's definitely not a washout of a day, but it's a day where showers are in the forecast, and you probably need to have the umbrella at least in the car. I don't think you need to carry it around all day, but once it's in the car, just leave it there, because as you see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, scattered storms in the forecast each one of those days as well, with high temperatures, Lauren, that'll be running right around 80 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-69, a little north of I-465. You can see traffic in that area to our northeast is moving along up to speed. A pretty smooth commute so far for your Wednesday morning. Raphael?
So, Lauren, let's talk about tradition, because as you know, USAC is a big part of Indy's rich racing history. And this morning, Brad Brown has more on a driver who's really just dominating the field, leaving those half his age simply in the dust.
USAC's top national series are filled with the next generation of short track racing's young stars.
No problems up front for CJ Leary, and he will get it done once again.
And in the mix with all of those teenagers and 20-somethings, Dave Darland continues to turn the wheel as well as anyone.
Yeah, it's like the old Garth Brooks song, the competition's getting younger all the time, and that's true.
At 53 years old, Darlin has pretty much done it all in his racing career and raced against some dirt track legends.
There's been lots of them, going back to Bob Kinzer, Jack Hewitt, Rich Vogler. I mean, nowadays, Sunshine and Justin Grant and Wyndham, and I could name. There's a bunch of there's always been a big list of great drivers, and that's not changed today.
One of just 6 drivers to win all 3 USAC National Championships, Silver Crown Sprints and Midgets. His 62 sprint feature wins are still the most all-time. 2017, a member of USAC's Hall of Fame class. So what keeps him going?
I can't really pinpoint what does keep me going. I still enjoy it to a certain level, but it's deep and competitive, and we're somewhat competitive, just not quite maybe like I used to be, but we're still having fun and things are going okay.
The Darlin name runs deep around the dirt tracks. Dave won 100 features driving with and for his dad, Bob. Now in his 5th decade behind the wheel, Dave continues carrying on a tradition of hard work and dedication to racing.
We got a good race team, and my car is fast. Got a good team here with helping me make this thing fast, and good sponsors to support us. So we're happy to be where we're at.
And so the laps keep turning. The hot summer nights spent looking for that next checkered flag and knowing that he's got more laps behind him than ahead.
It is winding down. I'm not going to do this very many more years, but it's still fun, and I enjoy it.
And that was Brad Brown reporting there. Thanks, Brad. 2 Colorado preteens started their own baking business, and now they're hoping to inspire other kids to do the same. Just after the break, see how members of the community are also helping to support their dreams. It is 5:53. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, Raphael, in a time when many businesses are just struggling, it takes a lot of guts to start a new one. But that is exactly what 2 little girls from Highlands Ranch, Colorado decided to do.
They are so ambitious. These 2 young girls started their own baking business. They call it Little Sisters Treats. So I want you to meet 11-year-old Zaire and 9-year-old Charlize Hawkins, and they're very serious about their business venture. So they met the owners of Sugar Sisters Bakery in their hometown, and it turns out that business had a special surprise for the young businesswomen.
These are 2 young black girls who want to own their own business, and with everything going on, we wanted to be authentic.
And then Becca texted me and was like, I have an idea. Why don't we give all of our COVID donation money to the girls?
Girl power right there. The total donation was just over $1,000. The sisters say they want to use that money, Lauren, to buy a food truck and then hire other young girls. They also say they hope to inspire other kids to become entrepreneurs. But as a dad, I would say to the girls, please first get your driver's license before you
driving the food truck. Oh, I love it. I loved their tulle skirts. So cute right there. I bet we'll see them on Cupcake Wars in the future. I love that show. So we'll have to see. Okay, Todd, as people are maybe heading out to grab a bite to eat today, it's going to be pretty nice weather.
Yeah, find a patio. It might get a little warm for some of you, or if you're in the direct sunlight later on this afternoon. But if the place you're eating has an umbrella, has a shade tree, you'll be in great shape. As far as what's going on this morning, beautiful sunrise, as we mentioned, with the high thin clouds, should be spectacular. And we'll keep showing you this here this morning using the RTV Weather Now camera network. You're looking from IMS back towards downtown Indianapolis. How pretty is that shot? As we go throughout the morning hours here, temperatures will warm nice and quickly. The humidity is in great shape. By 9 a.m., lots of sunshine and a temperature of 73 degrees, but we'll continue to warm very quickly here throughout the course of the day, with highs eventually anywhere from about 87 to 90 degrees. But again, even though it's a little warmer than yesterday, the humidity does not come up today. Things change, though, tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a little bit.